Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm here to show you the basic stitches to crochet. So if you've never crocheted before, this is the perfect video for you. All you're going to need is some yarn. You can use any type you'd like. I'd suggest some practice type of yarn. You're going to need some scissors, any kind really, and you're going to need a crocheting needle. I'm using a 5.75 millimeter, but honestly, you could use whatever size you'd like, especially for practice, so whatever you feel comfortable. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is a slip knot. This is pretty much the first thing you do before you even start a crochet project. So you're going to stretch out your string like this so that you can have a shorter end and the longer end, which is usually the working yarn. And you're going to twist it like so, okay? I'm going to show you again. Just twist it like this. And your shorter piece should be on your left side and your longer piece or working yarn should be on your right side. The longer end could be on the left side and the shorter end could be on the right side also. It's all depending on how you twist your yarn, but I'm just showing you a pretty simple way to do so. Once you have your yarn twisted into the loop, you're going to fold down the loop and you're going to pull the yarn through the loop. Okay, and you're gonna pull on both ends to form a slip knot. Now it's called a slip knot because you can literally pull on both ends and the knot will come out completely. Now if you got it, you can skip forward. If you don't, I'm going to do it again. Twist that loop. Once you have that loop, fold it down, pull the yarn through the loop and pull both ends so that you can form the slip knot. Okay, the slip knot is where you're going to place your crocheting needle, and yeah, you're pretty much ready to start your project. As I said earlier, depending on how you twisted your string, you can either pull the longer piece or the shorter piece to tighten your slip knot on your crocheting needle. Now another thing is how you hold your yarn. There are many different ways that crocheters hold their yarn. There is no right or wrong way, really, long as it is comfortable for you. So find a position of holding your yarn that's comfortable for you. So the first stitch I'm going to show you guys is a chain stitch. You're going to pull the yarn over, okay? You can either pull the yarn over or you can pull your needle forward and back to get the yarn over. Everyone crochets different, whichever way is comfortable for you. So go ahead and yarn over, and you're going to pull down that yarn through the loop. And that is your first chain stitch. Depending on the type of project you're doing, it's depending on how tight or loose you want the loops. So we're gonna go ahead and try again. Yarn over, pull down that yarn through the loop. Now we have two chains. This is probably the easiest stitch, and this is usually the start of many projects. So continue practicing yarning over and pulling through the loop until you have an entire chain stitch, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and finish and then show you what it should look like. These are what your chain stitches are supposed to look like. It looks almost like a fishtail braid. Okay, so if it looks like this, you're good to go. Now we're moving on to a single crochet. So as I said, you're going to start off with that slip knot because that starts pretty much all your projects. Before you do anything, you need a slip knot. You're going to place your crochet needle through the slip knot, and then we're going to form some chains so that we can start some single crochet. And yeah, I'll show you what to do next from here. If you made it here, this is also some more practice on a chain stitch as well. All right, now that we have our chain, you see this first loop, we're not putting the hook in there to do single crochet. We're going to go to this second loop right here. We never go to the loop closest to the hook. That pretty much counts as a slip stitch. A slip stitch is you just sliding the yarn through and pulling it through. Okay, we're not doing any type of stitch there. So put through that second loop, okay? You're going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, and then pull through the second loop. That is your first single crochet. You're going to do that through every single loop. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next loop and show you. Put your crochet needle through. Okay, now you have 2 loops on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over, pull through that first loop, and then pull through the second loop. All right, that is your second single crochet. However many loops you did, that's how many times you're going to repeat that. So I'm going to do it one more time to show you guys. Put your needle through, yarn over, pull through the first loop, pull through the second loop. All right. So off camera, I did finish mine. Okay, so it should look like this. Something pretty similar. If it doesn't look like this, it's okay. You can unravel and try again and start all over. Practice makes progress, okay? Not perfect. It makes progress. If you did get it, good job. Continue to practice single crochet, and that way you can do lots of projects with just single crochet, because there are a lot of different projects that simply use single crochet. All right, on to the next. Now we're on to our half double crochet. It's a little bit more complex, but not too complicated. All right, so we're always going to start off with our slip knot. Okay, never forget, you got to start with that slip knot, and then put your needle through and then start off a chain stitch. Now that is pretty much double, triple the practice for chain stitching and making a slip knot. All right, now that we have our chain stitches, I'm going to show you guys a half double crochet. So just like with the single crochet, you don't start with the first loop, and the half double crochet, you don't start with the second loop either. You're actually going to place your needle into the third loop. So yarn over and place in the third loop, and that'll be like as if you chained 2. You can chain 1 also, but chain 2 would probably give you the best amount of space. After you do that, you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Always make sure you have 3 for this because you yarned over first. Then you're going to yarn over again, pull through 1, pull through 2, and pull through 3. Okay, so you're going to pull that yarn through all 3 loops, and that is your first half double crochet. I'm going to show you guys again. Yarn over, put through the next loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and pull that yarn through all 3 loops. That'll be your second half double crochet. All right. Gonna show you guys one more time if you didn't get it. Yarn over, put through the next loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over again, pull the yarn through all 3 loops. Okay? Now that is your third half double crochet. And if you see the end of the project where we first started, it is a bit taller. Depending on the types of stitches you do, you're going to have to chain 1, 2, or 3, or however many you have to, so that your project isn't scrunched up the further you go. And you'll kind of see more of what I'm talking about when I show you guys double crochet. So now this is what your half double crochet should look like. As you can see, what I said, it's a bit taller than the single crochet, but it should definitely look something like this. If it doesn't, it's okay. As I said before, go ahead and unravel it and try again. Practice makes progress. When you master this type of stitch, it's going to go towards a lot of clothing. I see a lot of crocheters make cardigans with this stitch, or tops or bottoms, so definitely practice. Now on to my favorite stitch, double crochet. Start off with that slip knot and put your chains in to begin your project. By the way, when you're practicing, you can do as many chains as you want. We're just practicing. But of course, for certain projects, make sure you're using measuring tape or measure around your head or your body, however you need to do. So now that I have my chain stitch complete, I'm going to show you where you should be placing your needle through. Of course, not the first loop, never the first loop. This is double crochet, so we're definitely not putting it through the second loop. In this case, you can place it in the third or fourth loop, because if I turn the project to the side in this view, it'll look as if I chained two. So you'll see two chains right there, or chain three for double crochet. So it's just depending on how you want your project to look for how many chains you need to do. Just make sure you're doing the right amount of chains, of course. So for me, how I want mine to look, I'm going to put my hook through the third loop. So you're going to yarn over, put your hook through whichever loop that you prefer, either the third or fourth. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook, just like the half double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over again, pull through the first loop, and pull through the second loop. But you're going to leave 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. So as you can see, it's just like the half double crochet, but you're pulling through 2 loops twice instead of all 3. Let's do it again. Yarn over, put through the next loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Okay? Yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops, 1, 2, have 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Then you'll start to see what I meant by chaining the right amount, because at the end, the project will look pretty much taller, because this is double crochet now. So if you didn't get it, I'm going to show you one more time. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through those last 2 loops. Now we have 3 double crochets done so far. And I'm going to complete mine so I can show you what it should look like. And yeah, I'll be right back. All right, this is what your double crochet should look like. If it doesn't look like this, it's okay. Again, unravel, practice, and try again. It should definitely look something like this though. And as you can see, because of the chaining and it being double crochet, the project is getting a bit taller or wider, however you have it placed. All right, now on to triple crochet. I don't really use this pattern like that, but this is more practice for me too. But I definitely know how to do it enough to show you guys. So of course, start off with your slip knot and do your chains. So now that your chains are finished, of course, we're not going in that first loop. We're going to go ahead and go to the 5th loop as if I chained 4, okay? I can turn my project a little bit and you can see it as if I chained 4. For triple crochet, you can also chain 3. But again, depending on your project, you just chain whichever you think is best. So over here, I'm technically going to chain 4. And I'm going to go into the 5th loop. So you see the 4 loops, I'm going to skip 4. So we're going to start off by yarning over once, but for triple crochet, you're going to yarn over twice. There should be 3 loops on your hook to start, put through the first loop, that 5th loop, and now you should have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. All right, and then you're going to yarn over again, pull through 1, and pull through 2. You'll be left with 2 loops on your hook. All right, and then you're going to yarn over again and pull through those last 2. It's just like double crochet, but just an extra set of 2 loops. And as you can see, that chaining 4 definitely helps out with keeping the project from being scrunched up together. All right, so I'm going to show you again. You're going to yarn over once, yarn over twice, go ahead and put it through the next loop, 4 loops on your hook. You have to have 4. That's the only way it's going to be done right. Pull through 1 loop, pull through 2 loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, okay? Yarn over again and pull through the next 2 loops. Now you have those last 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those last 2. Now you have 2 triple crochets done. Go ahead and practice that again. I'm going to show you one more time, of course, because like third time's the charm, just in case you didn't get the first 2 times. Yarn over twice, put through your next loop. You have now 4 loops on your hook, okay? You're going to yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over again, pull through the next 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops left, and that's when you're going to yarn over and pull through those last 2. Now you have 3 triple crochets done. I'm going to continue practicing myself along with you guys, and then I'll finish it out, of course, off camera, and then come back and show you what it should look like, okay? Keep practicing. This is what your triple crochet should look like. I don't feel like it's perfect, but definitely it should look something like this. Of course, if it doesn't look like this, go ahead and unravel and practice again, okay? Now you see that the project is a bit wider or longer, however you're holding it. That's where those chains come in. They're very important. You have no idea. The last thing you want is for your project to look unnecessarily scrunched up, okay? So we have a chain stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, my favorite personally, and triple crochet. You can definitely practice all of these so you can master crocheting, honestly. I believe crocheting is a lot easier than people think. If you master that chain stitch and that single crochet, the rest of the stitches will fall in place. So, with that being said, practice, practice, practice. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I will help you out as best as I can, as fast as I can. Okay? Bye.